Oh, fuck. Fucking typo. It's fucking typical. Always something. I was like, I know this topic better than anyone in the world. And there's always something that undermines my fucking credibility. Also, I'm streaming while everyone's fucking watching the Oscars, and I've moved my light directly above the camera, so every time I look at the camera, I get blinded, but it seems to work better. So, happy Monday. Fucking hell. It's very hard to make this topic succinct and funny, and also it should scare the shit out of you. Okay, this stuff should scare the shit out of you. Now, a lot of it is linked to, I think a lot of people there's very few people that have been following me since the very, very beginning, but I am shit at video, and I got really sick, and I had a massive existential crisis that basically resulted in me deciding that I could not, in good conscience, run a digital agency anymore. I am currently lost professionally. I am about to burn it to the fucking ground, okay? But there's a few things that have happened where I saw this happening and I just don't want to be part of it anymore. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to live, but I just, like, when you see this stuff, you sit there and you go, look, there's a time when you have to choose. There's going to be blood on my hands if I continue down this path, right? And there's a really good. Okay, let me gather my thoughts. It's Monday morning. I've only had 3 coffees this morning, so I'm not ready yet. Anyway, I got thrown by the typo. Anyway, okay. So, we need to be worried about the fucking people that are collecting data. Now, if you look at my sort of piecemeal, if you sort of look at my long streams and sort of where I'm going and the data that I'm gathering, what I'm trying to do is distill a career full of knowledge, a career full of experience, a whole bunch of theory, and try to distill it without confidence on video, so it comes out babbling. But you know what? I'm hoping that people can start to pay attention to what I'm saying and be patient with me while I get better at speaking and trying to really dissect this stuff, because shit's evil. Okay? This is evil shit. And there's links between what I'm talking about. So when I talk about, I know it might not seem that way, right? When I start talking about gender critical feminism or the turf wars, right? Or I talk about the woke cult, or I talk about data, or I talk about Twitter bans, or I talk about Facebook policies, I talk about, or capitalism and all those sorts of things. What I'm trying to distill is the links that exist up here between my synapses and your average person who should be alarmed. Now, something hit, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, where someone had basically, I'll show you the tweet in a minute, but basically okay, so there's 2 different camps here, which are kind of operating, it's like the left hand isn't really aware of what the right hand's doing. They each think that they're doing the right thing. But together and combined, they are creating something incredibly fucking powerful, incredibly dangerous, right? So, and that is that corporate marketing, corporate culture, all of that stuff, people in their everyday job, HR, right? I'm going to fucking drag HR and recruiters over the coals with this one. Right? Where they think they have the right to everyone's fucking data and secrets when they do not, okay? Marketers who think they have the right to everyone's data and secrets, okay? And they're doing it all in the name of fucking, wrapping it in buzzwords, but ultimately they're snooping on us, right? To sell us more shit, to cause harm. But also there's a whole political imperative here, right? Which is that a Twitter spat, look, a Twitter spat is not just a Twitter spat anymore. Okay, now I went through this about 3 days ago, and I will tell you why I got such a chill. Those who saw the Twitter feed and the tweets that I made, I was starting to develop thoughts. This was a blind spot for me, and it's starting to make sense. Okay, which is that these corporate tools, these enterprise grade tools that harvest data, right, met with extremists, right, who are working, day jobs, right? It's not a coincidence that the capture of this woke movement and trans rights activists and all of this sort of stuff, they have captured HR, they have captured tech. It's not a coincidence. And do you know why? Because those tools are fucking, like, they can use them to build lists of enemies. They can use them to coordinate. I had never thought, I mean, I knew that I always was a bit skittish about the use of, most people would know, I think by now, what a CRM is, right? So that's a customer relationship management tool, which is basically a database where you, at its simplest form, if you've run a business or are in one that has any kind of sales attached to it or customer relationships attached to it, it's basically a database, okay, of people, where you put their data, you put their history, you sort of, in the early days, it was left phone call, left message. So it helps you to sort of track your relationship with the customer. That is now on steroids, okay? So what they're doing is they're not only using internal data, right, in order to sort of just make the customer relationship better and just track things, right? You could use a spreadsheet as a CRM, right? You could use a Twitter block list as a CRM for nefarious purposes. So it's more about basically how you centralize and manage relationships. Okay, so think about that very simply. This is for the basics. Again, bros, fuck off. I'm trying to explain this so that people actually go, oh, fuck, am I on one of these things? Yes, you are. Okay, and if you're going through a recruitment process where you don't get a job that you are a bit confused by, this could be at play, okay? And so I just want to, anyway, so my very first video, right, which was really shit, right? I wasn't even on camera. But my very first video, I talked about a tool called BrandYourself. Now, how I got to that tool was because I found out, right, despite being a digital agency owner, despite whatever, that suddenly I no longer qualified for purchasing Twitter ads on their ad platform. I could not get anywhere. There was no avenue for appeal. I continue to appeal it every 2 months. I say, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. And they basically just fucking say, no, nah. And you just get auto bot responses. There's no actual human partner that you can do, because I don't spend enough money with them to be able to pick up a fucking phone. By the by, so basically I sat there and I went, well, why would that be? Right? I know that I swear, right? And I've weighed that up, as I've talked about before. I choose to swear. I don't think that it's harmful, right? I usually just use Twitter to talk shit, have ideas, think through things. I never apologize for a tweet. If I exercise poor judgment, I would just say I exercise poor judgment. It's a thought experiment. It's Twitter. It's not, what the fuck? That's what Twitter's for. Twitter is for brain farts, not fucking op-eds, okay? That's what a blog's for. You fucking idiots. Anyway, I'm old school. I think I'm reaching a point where I'm a bit old school. And so they've changed the deal on us in terms of what Twitter's purpose is, how we should be using it. We used it freely. We used it openly. We used it for jokes. We used it, all the things I've talked about before. Right? Coriander gate, right? Spill, all these sorts of things, these events throughout Twitter's history that at some point the deal changed, okay, with how we use this tech. But what's actually changed now that people need to be aware of is that people are now monitoring your tweets. Now, like this whole cancel culture debate. And everyone's going, well, who has time to trawl through old tweets? You know what? Nobody does. And you know why? That's because there are tools that allow you to do it very effectively, very efficiently. And using these AI tools, you can flag not only what you say, what you like, who you follow, and also attach some sort of risk level to it, but using natural language processing, right? This is CRM on fucking steroids, and this is dangerous. This is the bit where it becomes unethical, and I refuse to be part of it. The only thing that is the great irony of all of this, if you work in tech, is that it's very, very hard to get. I've talked about this in previous videos, where it's very hard to get big corporates to transform digitally, right? The great irony, and about 80% of digital transformation projects fail, right? 70% of web projects or digital projects fail, right? That's a pretty good stat, but ironically, that's actually the greatest fucking thing in the world, because if they do transform and use these tools like Dynamics 365 or Salesforce 360 or, all of these recruitment tools, if they actually do use them well, we're all fucked. Okay? That's the irony of IT being so shit in corporate, right? And it's the only thing keeping us safe at the moment, which I find funny, right? Because it is frustrating to deal with corporate fucking siloed technology and all of this sort of stuff. But the second they actually do achieve this stuff, in marketing, you call it like single view of the customer, or what's another term that you use? Lots of things, whatever. Lots of buzzwords, okay? They want to be able to target them effectively, single view of the customer, right? Insights, customer insights, right? And you've got things like, your CDPs, which is customer data platforms, CRMs, all that sort of technology, right? And I'm just going to show you, however, what I want to show you is a little bit of the end result of that, okay? Now, and I'm going to link it back to this woke shit. I'm going to link it back to corporate bullshit, and I'm going to link it back to why I am so worried about things like Antifa, TRAs, and those extremists who are on record as advocating for things like cyber-terrorism and violence, okay, and any means necessary. This is something that people need to be aware of. From HR to fucking C-suite, they need to be aware of this, okay? This is not just about cybersecurity or fucking theft or stealing of credit card details anymore, all right? Now, just to frame this and set some context, this week Graham Linehan has come out, has been under fire yet again, and he's and that's sort of resulting in legal action. Those who tweeted, or I didn't even support a tweet in agreement. I just tweeted in support, right? And I attracted the ear of a fucking psycho TRA, as you do. Said psycho TRA happened to brag that they are a Salesforce architect in their bio. Now, that might seem innocuous to the average person, right? It's like, well, what's that got to do with anything? Well, now, if you understand how CRMs work, and you understand how that they are by design, they're designed to build lists of people, okay? Their behavioural data, their demographic data, how to fuck with them psychologically, okay? Insights, okay? Single view of a specific person. In this case, that person was bragging about how they had added me to a pro-Glinner list, okay? That's the thing that scares the shit out of me, and it should scare the shit out of you, and why these block lists that people use, they're not fucking benign, okay? They are part of a bigger tech, I suppose, that... again, I'm not saying that it's a big conspiracy. I'm saying there are bad actors, and these bad actors are fucking resourced. They are infiltrating enterprise because they know how to fuck people. Okay, now, that was a blind spot for me, because I sat there and I went, what we've got here is somebody who is hurling abuse at me, mocking me openly and gleefully, right? The perverted shit that they put on their feed, right? They're hiding in plain sight taunting. This is how narcissists behave. This is how bullies behave. They taunt, right? They taunt publicly and they poke and they poke and they poke. Unfortunately, they happened to poke me where they said that they're a Salesforce architect on their fucking profile, and they were sitting there openly bragging that they have added me to a list. And I just went, fuck you. I then report, because I also happen, because I work in tech, I happen to know that vendors and, you know, anybody who uses a Salesforce tag, you know, they have NDAs and they're, yeah. So I, you know, informed Salesforce. But my point is that this stuff is fucking, like, you need to be aware of it. So that's the context of that. So that's one event that happened. Then I saw Andrew Doyle on Rogan, and they talked about this thing, right, which I'll share the screen. Also, now I'm blinded because I really need to move the light away from the camera because now I can't fucking see. But anyway, this, right? And now I've talked about Brand Yourself before. I'll show you, like, my score is in the toilet. That's why no one fucking wants to work with me. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be part of anything or work with anyone or be associated with anybody who advocates for these corrupt, evil tools, okay? It is wrong, it is unethical, and it should be illegal, okay? When you see what I'm talking about, you should be pushing. If you are in HR or you have any influence in IT or the corporate level, you need to be asking these fucking questions, okay? Given how institutions are being captured by this woke cult, and I will show you the language, right, on the platform that was used for this. And you will see, it will scare the shit out of you, okay? All right, now, let me just blink 3 times so I can see the screen. Okay, now, so this guy, right, I mean, mask and fucking whatever aside, okay? I had to get, this happens to everyone. So what's actually interesting is that this guy sort of has all the you know, all the earmarks of someone who's a bit mental. But anyway, whatever. This is an everyone problem. This is not a problem of the right or left or anything. This is a problem for everybody, every single person. There's basically a burn book on everybody right now, and the mean girls have access. Okay. Think about that. So I had to get a background check for my job, right? And so when you say background check, most of us know that means probably police report, you know, working with children, you know, all of that sort of stuff without disclosing. So I had to get a background check for my job, and it turns out the report is a 300+ page PDF of every single tweet I've ever liked with the word fuck in it, right? Enjoy your dystopian BS, right? He came home to a package containing a printout of all 351 pages, right? But look at this. So, and I'm going to go through their website because it's fucking chilling. Okay? Now, look what he did. So basically, flag type, bad or good. Okay? I can't fucking see. Flag reason, alcohol. Post type, liked. Huh. All right? Flag, language, bigotry, sexism, right? Because he said big dick energy, which is a meme and a joke, right? Who gives a fuck? All right? Now, again, the role of these things is to just report. And yes, ultimately, at the end of the day, the HR person, if I was in HR, I'd be reading this and I'd think it was funny as shit. And I'd go, well, I'm going to hire people based on how fucking bad their report is, like me, right? I know that there's a sort of protective layer in the fact that I would never even have a chance with anybody who used this tool. And I'll walk you through my brand yourself in a minute. But it's pretty funny, right? But yeah, but there's positive flags as well. But look at this shit. How is this not a fucking dystopian nightmare? Flag type, good. So you're either good or bad. Flag reason, helping others. Post type, liked. How dare you like? Like, what the fuck? Okay? Now, I apologise, I can't read through because I'm going to have to move that light because I can't look at the camera and like not be blind. So, but this is what's interesting. To those asking, I did not give them my handle or permission. I'm assuming they just found this via my old name. Okay? The especially creepy part is that this didn't turn up anything at all relevant or incriminating. I keep personal info on my non-public accounts, but their shitty algorithm means that my reputation and character is flagged as questionable and sent to my yes, and bloody Sky, that's exactly the point. That's what I'm going to get to. So he said that HR people are typically woke asshats though, and that's the fucking problem, and that's the point, and that's why this is deliberate, and this is why this is dangerous. And HR and recruiters need to wake the fuck up about what they're actually doing. They think they're saving the world and they're actually not, right? Because I've been when you become the target of this, as I have and as I have seen Graham and as I have seen people who are good people, who are professionals, who have been targeted by this shit, right? Like once you become unpersoned, you really fucking see it. Okay, what's going on here? All right? It's policy capture, it's institution capture, it is fucking entryism, and you are not supporting what you think you're supporting. And I'm going to show you this fucking Fama is it Fama, fucking whatever. You know, I'm going to show you the language that they're using on the website, and it should send, if this does not send a chill down your spine, then I don't know how to reach you. Okay? So, I also enjoyed this because this came up recently. This was a fucking Facebook thing. Hang on, what'd I do? But this is my favourite meme at the moment, right? Is it for fuck's sake or for fuck's sake? It's all for a work email, so it has to sound professional. I fucking love that. It's funny because that's how I feel. But anyway, back to my point, which is for me personally, professionally, I'm worried. I'm a fucking senior UX consultant. I am a lot of credibility, and I don't know who's using these tools on me. Right? I've been added to a fucking list of Nazis on Twitter. Maybe what if I'm flagged in that system as a problem and I'm not even getting out of the gate? Right? That's dangerous. That's Orwellian, and this is where this becomes fucking, it's not just a Twitter spat. When you get added to a block list, it is mashed up with all of the other data that they have on you, and they're basically building a burn book. And then you sit there and go, oh, what a phenomenon about cancel culture. No, it's bigger than that. Right? There's no one sitting around digging through old tweets. What's happening is that people are calling in favors from their friends who have access to these automated tools that are doing it for them. So if you have a bad tweet, it will be found, or it has been found. They just haven't decided to use it against you yet. Okay? That's the reality. It's not a matter of if, but fucking when. All right? So, let me blink 3 times. So, this is the website, right? This is a fucking, this is how this is legal, right? And I'm going to show you how it's legal because they turn around and basically say, well, we only do it with your permission, right? Look at this. So, the smartest way to screen toxic workplace behaviour. Okay? I'm not going to read the whole thing because it just makes me too fucking mad. But compliant. I love how they have, you know how many times, like working in comms, working in UX and working in persuasion for most of my career. The one thing that I understand is objections, okay, and how to address objections with copy. The fact that they keep reassuring the user over and over again, right, that it's totally legal, it's compliant, we totally do the right thing, right? And also these get out of jail free cards, AI based, automated, right? Because that has gone through a process with legal, right? Where they can get out of it and go, well, when it fucks up, that means they can get out of it and say, oh, well, it's automated. It's not our fault. That's what Twitter do. Oh, well, it's automated. We fucked up, but you know, whatever. No. Also, the fact that they need to keep reassuring people that it's totally legit. Usually a sign that something is a scam is how many times they say it's not a fucking scam. Okay? Fucking psychology, fucking comm psychology 101. Anyway, this legal protection, right? Fama only highlights behaviours which you have a permissible or business purpose to view and is a consumer reporting agency. Now, if you don't know what a consumer reporting agency is, those are, in Australia, it's largely fucking brain farted. Credit reporting agencies is the most common. We seem to have a lot more protection than the US. The US seems to have a fucking bucket load of all sorts. But they basically, like your tenancy databases or, credit reporting agencies, those sorts of things, right? And what's important here is that these guys are the exclusive online screening provider for higher right, these sorts of, right? Okay, these sorts of companies. Right? Again, the legality, the fact that it's just fucking constantly having to, right? But you get labelled as toxic, right? You get labelled as a bigot, labelled as toxic, and then you are basically stripped of your livelihood. So if you are talking about politics online and you have felt a slight chill in the job hunting department, I think that might be why, all right? So, again, this is not people doing it. This is robots. This is stupid. Imagine, I don't know if you're familiar with fucking David Thorne's work with Simon Dempsey, the most literal, annoying colleague that dobs everyone in. Dwight Schrute from The Office, right? Imagine Dwight Schrute in charge of fucking hiring. That's basically how it would be, okay? He's a fucking moron. Anyway, but now let me blink 3 times. Okay? This is scary. Listen to this language. Identify problematic behaviour before it becomes an issue. Does that sound familiar? With Harry Miller, the non-crime crime, pre-crime crime, pre-crime thoughts, okay? Pre-crime crime. Background checks for the 21st century. Okay, so they're just spinning this like it's some sort of background check, right? Relying on what people know to be true with a background check, which is that they basically police, government, sanctioned, all of those sorts of people who are have there is some fucking form of social contract, right, between citizen and government, which is that, we give them, we know that the tax office fucking has this data, but we trust the tax office not to misuse it, and they're accountable to us if they do, right? So they're deliberately using the word background check, right? But this is fucking scary. So So it's customized reporting, right? Fama does not score or provide a recommendation on a person. Instead, we give you the power to determine which behaviours you want to see flagged on a report. Ongoing monitoring. Risk doesn't stop at the point of hire. We provide solutions, some anonymised and aggregated, to help you identify risk within your workforce. Of course, they reckon they're compliant, but the only reason they're compliant is because they are a credit reporting agency and they have that sort of legal protection, right? This is terrifying. And it says, but this is what I find interesting, consent-based screening, okay? Fama is a consent-based solution and offers candidates the right to challenge results. So you can't object to them, you can't block them from gathering it, right? But what you can do is challenge the results. Nah. Okay, and I looked into that process, and basically they don't ask for consent. Usually what I imagine has happened here, again, blink 3 times. Oops, did I click off it? I did. Blink 3 times is what he probably did was, do you consent to a background check? Okay, it is concealing the actual true intent, which is, do you consent to everything you ever fucking posted or liked or talked to or anything being filed into a 350-page PDF, right? This is just not right, okay? This is wrong anyway. But there was something here, right? And this thing, right? Where is it? Oh, hang on, no, industries. Okay, so what I shared before, right? So it's worth going through this site. It is chilling. But this one, get ahead of your next big hashtag scandal. Few industries have come under fire in recent years more than media and entertainment. So they're literally just monetizing cancel culture, right? After all, public image and trust is the lifeblood of media and entertainment brands. And when that trust is violated, the repercussions can be massive. Today, as public scrutiny of the industry intensifies, public scrutiny. Fuck off. You are the scrutiny, you stupid cunts. We're seeing toxic behaviours. So they never define what toxic behaviours are, by the way. That's the problem with this, is that they use loaded language, right? Again, I'll talk about that in thought reform. Loaded language to conceal the true meaning, which is they don't define toxic behaviour, right? They don't define what words like bigotry or sexism and I'm going to show you what they believe fucking profanity and sexism and all these things actually are when I look at my brand yourself, right? Which are innocent. The context, they've got context, all of those sorts of things. So I can't actually, because of my blindness, I can't read the chats. So I'm just going to have to, hang on, just give me a second to open the window because I literally can't see the text. Okay. I know that, anyway, chats derail anyway, but I'm just saying, sorry if I don't reply, but I just want to get through my points. Yep. So Dane asked, is this being utilised in the US? Absolutely. So if anything, this is actually a United States thing. I don't think it's the law in Australia is thankfully a lot more. This is actually a US-based company and US-based problem. And also and they said that they're a consumer reporting agency, right? And I actually deliberately went to the American list of consumer reporting company. A consumer reporting company covers many different things, right? Again, hang on, where are we? So in areas such as, where are we? So we've got nationwide consumer reporting. So your credit reporting, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, you'd probably know about those, right? Employment screening. Look how many of these there are, right? All of these services use these fucking tools. So when you consent to a background check, this is what you consent to. But they don't actually tell you specifically what. Okay, Higher Right, see, they were listed on here. Higher Right is actually the biggest one, as far as my research tells me. I don't know, there might be, there's others, but Sterling, Higher Right, these people, right? They're consumer reporting agencies. They're not just background checkers. Tenant screening, okay? Check and bank screening. This is the United States only. Okay, Australia, we've got insurance screening. So underwriters at insurance companies screening you for risk before you fucking get insurance. Okay. Okay, so the thing that I'm scrolling through at the moment is a PDF document from consumerfinance.gov. So this is information, right? This is an information sheet about the companies. But, so where are we? Is it? Oh no, so Fit to Work from Equifax. So Equifax, the Australian credit reporting, but they also do background checks for fucking whatever. So that's the Australian one, but where are we? No, Higher Right was what I wanted. Let's go. I just used it. I know I just boomer used this fucking thing. But anyway, but this, right? This is Higher Right. This is one of the big guys. So these are all US companies. Yes, and Dane has pointed out that, that we've kind of, again, we sit there and we don't really join the dots. We go, isn't it weird that Facebook knows, that I'm looking for beanbags? Isn't that weird? But we don't make the connection, right? Which is that these corporate tools like Salesforce and all of that stuff, fueled by marketers, right, are also being weaponized in HR. They are also being used by consultants. And if you have, this is where someone bragging that they've added me to a list, this is where it's, and they work for Salesforce, that's fucking worrying, okay? Now, okay, blink 3 times. I really need to move that camera, sorry, I'm not gonna do it. But this is the thing that scares me, okay? Right, so this is their sell. So take control of your biggest risks, okay? Increase public scrutiny. No, you are providing the tool that allows for this to occur, because if it was actually left to individual people, they wouldn't be able to farm all of this stuff, Okay, you're providing the tool. Okay, celebrities and influencers have dense online personas, and all it takes is one poorly worded tweet to tarnish their well-kept image. Given that so they just accept that this is a reality, right? They just accept that this is a reality. They don't actually question it. They just build some fucking 20-something tech bro with too much fucking money and a dumbass haircut, sits there and goes, oh, well, where's the gap in the market? Oh, I'm not going to address the actual fucking problem and say no. What I'm going to do is create a product and profit from it and get VC money that helps and doesn't fix the problem and makes the problem fucking worse. You're a fucking scumbag. People like me who turn around and say, that's it, fucking, I'm out. This has gotten evil. This is not what I signed up for, okay? But these fucks, these opportunities, and you want to talk about woke being about the oppressed? It's not. It's all funded. It's all about money, and it's all about surveillance because they all benefit. This is what I was talking about before about corporate benefit, which is that they can do this, and it's the R word is not retard. The R word in corporate land is risk, okay? It's all about risk. Credit risk, insurance risk, so that they can't make money, okay? You get cancelled, right? All this sort of shit. So what they do is they feed cancel culture in order to sell fucking martech platforms and big tech platforms and all of this shit that's fucking, anyway. I've gone off. But this woke language, this is the thing that scares me, is the flip side. Because those of us, my dear viewers, who are not woke will see that this is a fucking complete heads, tail flip of the coin in terms of the language, right? Which is reframing this problem, okay? So this is the thing that incensed me. Broken vetting processes. This line incensed me. The bar for ethical behaviour is higher than ever before. No! The threshold for thought crime is lower than ever before. Okay? And you're making it worse. Okay? People should be allowed, I've said this, I've been defending this for fucking 15 years now, that that employers absolutely should not have the right to police how people behave, conduct themselves, what they post online in their fucking spare time. Okay? Fuck it. This is why we need unions, and this is why we need unionism, and this is why we need, because it's directly linked to the fact that people have no fucking bargaining power, and those that do try to exercise their bargaining power are unpersoned and fucking not worked with like me. But I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go in a ditch. I don't give a shit because this is just wrong. Okay? So the bar for ethical behaviour is not higher than ever. The bar has moved because fueled by fucking big tech, and I'm fed up with this shit. It's gaslighting. Okay, it's people with they just say this stuff it's just like everyone agrees, right? Problematic content. Well, what's problematic content? Anything that fucking this cult determines is problematic. No. What's a toxic employee? A toxic employee is somebody who says, I don't think that's a good idea, or challenges fucking power. Like I've done my whole life, which is why I work for myself, because I'm a big mouth, and when I see injustice, I will fucking fight. I butt heads with CEOs. They always hire me thinking that they always hire me thinking they want me, and then they don't want me because I tell them that they're the problem. I've had this happen more times than I can count, which is why it's just like, no, fuck it. Because it's like, what's underneath this, right? Bigotry, racism, and sexual offences. Yes, they're all very serious issues, but it's concealing what they're doing, which is when everyone is a bigot, everyone is a racist, and everyone is a fucking rapist, and everyone's a Nazi, and they're sitting there giving reports that they liked a tweet. That was a joke. No. Just no. And I was saying this to Paul this morning. I am so, because I was actually, you can tell I'm still fucking mad about this, and I'm going to keep talking about it and whatever. But all we can do is have, because he works in the space and he has some sway, and I said, please promise me that you will not let any of this stuff infiltrate your organisation. Okay, and that's where I think those of us in the digital industry who are senior, who are old agency people who got in on the internet to do good, right, and who are now find themselves in positions like where they're the head of digital, or they actually have some influence, where we have to say, no, I am not implementing this, this is wrong, this is unethical, this is not right. And what will happen is that they will be unable, if they use these tools against me, right, I will never work for them, okay? And if they use tools like this against my fucking staff, I would never work for them. We need to make a stand, and the knock-on effect of that is that they won't be able, they'll only get the fucking bottom feeding, like, you know, that they'll only get the bad fucking consultants. So this problem, the market can fix this, which is that if people like myself and those that are in demand for our services, because we are in demand for our services, there's a shortage of good, high quality, senior tech people and senior UX people who are actually fucking ethical and sensible, right? They need us more than we need them. And if we just collectively say, no, I am not implementing this shit. Like, I know Paul's like, whenever anyone brings up these things, he just goes, no, it's wrong. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting blood on my hands. And that's the kind of stand that we need to take, right? And that's where I'm going to start doing more workshops on ethical fucking tech and trying to get like CIOs and people like that to start thinking about this, because this is not right. This is wrong. This is evil. And I saw this coming. And this is why I had to quit marketing, because I didn't want to be part of it, right? How the fuck I'm going to live, I don't know, but I don't know. But someone needs to start talking about this stuff and putting a stop to it at the C level with CIOs and stuff, and saying, no, HR, calm, no, absolutely not. You do not have the right to harvest people's social media feeds. And if you're a CEO or have access to a CEO, you need to fucking get in their ear and show them this video and force them to watch it, even though I know it's long and ranty, but at the same time, I'm actually better when I'm not on a video and in person and consulting or workshopping. I'm better. Video makes me nervous, and it makes me kind of, you know, the stress makes me go all over the place. I'm happy to have a call with them. I'm happy to sit down with them and explain to them why this is wrong. Okay? And if you're an employee, you need to ask them what is in the background check. Don't just say, I consent, because it's not just a police or working with children and all those good things anymore. This is actually crawling through your social media and showing what you liked, okay? Anyway, this fucking scared me. This is terrifying, right? See the way they market it to business people, like $39 million was lost. That's in severance costs paid to Kevin Spacey after he received. It's like, it's all about the money, all right? Fuck these people. Fuck these opportunists. Look at this fuck. Where is he? He looks exactly as you'd think. I'm just going to get petty for 2 seconds. Just because he does, he looks exactly as you'd expect. Look at him. He's fucking 12 years old. He has created the most evil fucking thing that I have seen. Look at this fuck. He doesn't know how the world works. He's got woke face. Look at him. Fuck off. Anyway, that was unnecessary. But seriously, these children who have no idea. Now, look, I want to show you some of my offending tweets. So I've talked about Brand Yourself before. Look at my fucking score. Where is it? Reputation report. Very poor. Now, what's interesting is that I haven't really fully populated. I have to pay. So what it does is again, this is the funnel that they put you on. You sign up for a free thing, right? But then you have to pay to see the results, right? I had to pay to fucking see what my offending tweets were. So it's basically this whole fucking thing. Yes, it's all about fucking marking a print. No, it's not. This woke cult is the perfect. It builds perfect consumers. It builds perfect fucking employees. It builds compliance and it builds more and more tech products so that more and more people consume more and more shit. And corporates don't actually have to do anything about structural racism, structural sexism, or anything like that. It's perfect. It's a perfect fucking crime. Okay? Anyway, so So when I get some violent TRA with a fetish threatening me and saying that they've added me to their list when they work at Salesforce, I find that fucking worrying because they have access and they're not the only ones, okay? Because these tools exist, they can collect, they can, you know, it's not as simply as just fucking doxing, right? Bloody Sky just said, have you lost connection or have I? There's a very good chance that I have. I have to hardwire to stream. We're on fast internet, but it's, yeah, I'm hoping that this is fucking still there. I'd be annoyed if it's not, but whatever. Anyway, maybe. We'll see in the replay. I'll check. But anyway, so this is my reputation, which is very poor, right? It's actually dropped over time, which I find funny. I became aware of it like last year, right? This is when I did my first video, I think, roughly then. But I've actually just doubled down and gotten worse, right? Now, I'm only focused on the social media just because I wanted to find out what my offending tweets were, right? All I do is swear, right? All I do is swear. All right, hang on. How do I get this fucking thing to behave? There. So bigotry. Look at this shit. Some of them are funny. That's the thing, is they're actually funny tweets and with context, right? It's like, it's really stupid. I don't even remember half of this fucking stuff, right? It was just this one we call genital warts. I think some of these are just Instagram where I've captioned a funny picture of the dog or whatever, right? And my kid mentioning the word penis is flagged to make me an unperson, a bad person, a terrible person. And it gives you the option to delete, right? Which I'm not going to do. I refuse. I just do it to, look, orgasmic sensation. Pube. I still like this. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. Think I'll go and eat some penis. It's just a fucking joke. Ass. All right? It's just like, what the fuck? Anyway, so profanity, yes, fair enough. But again, they're funny tweets. Stages, the bar is low. The bar for ethical standards is high. No! The bar for crimes is low. And you're an opportunist fuck. Ban me. I don't give a shit. I'm already in the toilet. I'm trying to see if I can get to 0. Anyway, stages of Trump grief. I thought that was quite funny, actually. Again, I just swear. Fuck off. Yeah, whatever. Okay? Whatever. But anyway, no bullying, no crime. Look, polarizing. Ooh, God forbid. Look, all I said was gay. Racist. Racism. So merely saying racism is considered polarizing. Again, there's a score impact there. It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's more of a matrix. But at the same time, look, this AI one, right? And this is the thing that you got to worry about. All I do is just say cunt, fuck off, and swear, and shit. All I do is swear. And I am now a fucking terrible, terrible person. Right? Whatever, where are we? Where's my fucking score? Oh, reputation report. Okay, summary. So this is where it's not yellow. It's not like, oh, well, she's not like, it's literally, and it would not surprise me if this was by association, because when I started following a broader range of people in order to debubble, that's when my reputation score went through the toilet. So that's what I have no promises there and no guarantees, but that seems to be the case, right? Anyway, but I don't give a fuck. What about people who need a job? What if you're just trying to work at McDonald's, right? What if you can't get by? What if what if you're someone who isn't mouthy like me and isn't, this is just, Salesforce, but this is the enterprise horseshit, right? Connect to your customers in a whole new way, right? But do you know what's underneath all of this, right? Solutions. Where are we? Products. Customer 360. So when I talk about the 360-degree view of the customer, this is what I'm talking about, which is where they can target them, they can identify them, they can follow them online, they can figure out their psychology. And that's why when fucking people like that attack me on Twitter and say that they've added me to a list, that means that they are taunting me in plain sight. That's not in direct violation of the Twitter rules. Right? They are allowed to do that, and they are allowed to incite fear and fucking do what they like, right? Because they know how to operate inside the fucking rules, because they use the tools, the enterprise tools, right? It's not a coincidence that they've fucking, the TRAs and Antifa and all those people have infiltrated tech and HR, because that's where the fucking power is. Anyway, I think I've talked too long. Did I say anything else? So block lists are not fucking innocuous. I'm going to do another one on block lists and explain what they are, right? Was there something I can't see? Look, but also look, I found this as well. I just Googled background check people, like companies, and look at this, right? Spouse spy. How is that allowed? How is that okay? How is that at all legal when you know that these tools exist? Right? As seen on this. Right? The media support it. Because corporate media benefit from this whole fucking woke cycle. Again, I'm not saying that it's a big conspiracy, but I'm saying there's a lot of people who benefit from this. Okay, this is the new media, this is fucking media cancel complex, right? They've created an uber complex of all of the complexes, industrial, media, political, fucking pharma, all of these things, one giant fucking complex caused by tech and caused by social media. Soylent Green is social, right? We're all fucked. The horse is bolted. I'm just making you aware of it. If you have any power at the C-level or in tech or work in tech, you need to understand that there are people who are using this stuff not as intended. Okay? People like me who merely fucking, all I did was say, I'm sorry. Graham was defamed. By you know, we okay, you can look into what happened, but it's currently, I don't want to talk about a legal thing because it could fucking do stuff. I don't want to be sharing things. But basically, I said, I'm sorry this has happened to you. That then triggered a fucking tirade of fucking taunts and threats from this trans rights activist who just called me thing and said that I'd been added to a list when I called them out on list adding, which most people don't realize. See, their coercive control techniques don't work on me, right? Because it's quite funny actually to see, because I actually know what they're doing and I can see what they're doing, and I reported them and made Salesforce aware that one of their vendors may actually be using their technology for nefarious purposes to harass people, right? Funnily enough, I must have gotten under their skin, because I think they deleted the tweet where they were taunting me. So that shows. See, sometimes every so often, if you're very mindful, or if you are alert to it, the mask slips, right? With abusers and narcissists particularly, and people who get off on hurting people, and they can't let it be. They need to see. They need to be able to brag about it. They need to see that they got the reaction. So when they don't get the reaction from me that they wanted, and I actually said, the mask slipped, right? Just for a moment. And they started to brag about how they added me to lists. And I was like, oh, so you work for Salesforce. Well, I don't think they'd take too kindly on an architect or a vendor or partner using their handle in a account that abuses people and adds people to lists, right? Given that they're a social CRM company, and this is concerning, okay? Again, these tools, and I believe that this is I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe that there is this big ass conspiracy from fucking Bezos I think it is just inevitable. It's an inevitability because we are blind to, because everyone grifter's going to grift. Okay? Criminal's going to criminal, corporate's going to corporate, con man's going to con, fucking, whatever. right? Orwell's gonna Orwell. And the only way this can happen is when society says, no, I do not consent to this, and I will. If anyone misuses my data, sorry about that slurring, my stutter. If anyone misuses my data, I'm fucking ready to sue. I cannot wait to be a test case, but we need test cases. We need to say enough, and you need to say no to HR, no to these hiring practices that they treat as normal. And you know, AI is stupid and it is biased, and everybody needs to be aware that these tools are being used and it's going to affect your fucking ability to function. So also maybe not be so hard on people who don't speak out. Okay, maybe because buying into this shit does, you know, maybe there's always going to be those people in society who cave to the pressure because they have to survive, right? I'm lucky. My big mouth, you know, I'm pretty good at, I don't care. I don't, you know, that's, I like the chip that cares, okay? I don't want to work for anybody who thinks like this, okay? Unfortunately, my ethics are stronger than my desire to fucking eat or anything else. But, you know, it's just wrong. This is just wrong. And, but there's people who have to do wrong shit. I've just finished reading the Testaments. And, you know, Lydia's story in that is, you know, there's people that say, I'm lucky that I could say no, but some people are in a position where they can't say no to this and they have to buy the line, and it is only when people speak up as a group, okay, or start pushing back, when you've got power and freedom and are faced with a decision to implement a new 360-degree fucking CRM an HR or a new tool. If you're a head of IT or head of digital, you have a lot of power, or a CEO, you have a lot of power to, you know, to decide where the line is, because the tech has run away from us, right? I'm not saying you can't use customer data to try and, you know, give with contextual marketing. That's what I thought was exciting, is that we could, you know, find a utopia where people, you know, were able to get what they want when they want, you know, all of that sort of stuff, and do good, right? And have positive conversations. But the wheels have fallen off this thing, and we need to start intervening. Every Fortune 500 company or below needs to be aware of this shit. They need to ban these products, okay? And they need to make it illegal, okay? And with high fines and penalties attached to somebody being fucking denied a job based on what they liked on Twitter. That's the only way, right? Again, I'm not into the government. Look, I would much rather the government be in charge of this, right? Because at least they're accountable with an election. At least there's a social contract, right? There's, you know, for all you'll say about big government, that this is the role of government. This is where law kicks in, and government need to be fucking, get their shit together and understand how fucking tech works. All right? I'm happy to talk to any Australian politicians. I'm happy to talk to you about this. Any Australian CEO, anyone, well, actually anyone. You're a fucking super CEO. Fucking fly me anywhere. I'll come and talk to you. I'll talk to your team about this, right? This is wrong. Just fucking wrong, right? And I shouldn't be unpersoned for thinking that. So I'm just burning the bridge. Fuck it. I don't care anymore. Okay. Anyway, let's see if this video stays up. It'd be an interesting experiment. If it's cancelled, then it's cancelled, but I've got it back up. So anyway. Thanks for watching. I ran long. I apologize. If you want to support me, go to my website, usual stuff. I am basically unemployable by talking about these types of things, because the only thing I know is tech, UX, and politics, and they are in conflict with each other. So the only way that I can survive now, I think, is to design fucking websites that aren't evil, or consult and talk about this stuff more loudly and get better at talking about it. Okay, so anyway, I love you. Thank you for your precious life seconds. And as limited as they may be, and hopefully, yeah, we can do something. I don't know. This makes me fucking mad. Love you. Bye.